Welcome back to another of the making of video, and this one is a old character that I had to redesign. She has been presented before a long time ago, uh, as an OC, very long time ago, back when my channel had started out and everything. This is Death. Now, Death is not her name. But this fact, her name originally was Necro, due to the fact that when she was growing up in the village, people would just suddenly die around her without any sort of reasoning. And that was just why they just called her Necro and everything because of that, and they didn't want anything to do with her. But I am deciding, like, nowadays to just keep her nameless because nobody liked her and everything. But anyways, so, Death, her job is Death. I mentioned that before. And the reason why I use the term job is because she is one of the fates. Now, this actually stems off of an old belief I had when I was a kid. And this belief, I firmly believe that there was a group of entities called the Fates. Now, this kind of roots from Greek mythology, except not. Because I believe the Fates in Greek mythology were the three old women who shared an eye, and they decided your past, present, and future, and like when you died and all that jazz, you know, your whole timeline and everything. No. This is different. This is like the Court of Fates. That is what the entire story is called, the Court of Fates. And Death herself, she is exactly that. She is a fate, which is a different kind of being from human. And these are more godlike, except not so much. So they function as society similar to ours as mortal people. However, fates have one job and one job only, and they never, ever are going to do anything other than this job. And that is what they are. So for Death, obviously, she reaps souls like the Grim Reaper does. For somebody who is the fate of happiness, they would bring joy to the world. For somebody who is grief or sadness or depression, they would do the same thing. It all depends upon what their life's purpose is, and they were born with this life's purpose and all that jazz. Death is very much so your stereotypical goth chick, I would have to say. She doesn't like being out in the light. She hates people. She's super antisocial. I probably shouldn't say the stereotype of goth because I don't necessarily know what the stereotype of goth is. But, like, she hates the light and everything. And actually, you see that face that I'm working on right now? That is a mask. That is a Fates mask. And this is basically sort of like, you know how Tony Stark has Jarvis, or whatever his name is, and is this computer AI. Well, it's pretty similar to that. This AI unit is specifically only designed for the Fates, and people are 100% mortal people. I mean, 100% unable to accomplish anything like this. And this AI unit will assist a Fate in figuring out where they are due to be. So, like, for instance, somebody dies in a hospital or is supposed to die in a hospital, the AI unit on the mask will alert the fate, specific fate, to go to this place, give the address and everything, give the best course of action, basically a whole recap on how this person is meant to die, what their illness is and everything. And they all work together, the fates do. So, like, let's say pestilence or illness is one of the fates, and somebody's dying from illness. Well, obviously death is going to work with the fate that is in charge of ailments. So, I don't know. This was an interesting story concept that I created back when I was 14, 15, somewhere around there. And the design was vastly different from how it is now. Very vastly different. She still had this oversized coat that she started off with, but her hair color is now purple. She's got a half-shaved head. The mask, like the entire theme is purple with her, which I would associate as a better color than red, which was the original color. And I just enjoyed the all-around design of this character far better than her original design. It is so much nicer. And I was actually working with perspectives, like perspective work and everything. And I was wondering how, like, I wanted to try and get different perspectives done and different things. So this whole thing started on a whim. Like, I originally was not going to do an OC like this. I was going to do a different character. I don't know who. It's been months since I've actually done this project. But this whole drawing came to life only because I wanted to do perspective work. Interesting how that kind of works out and all that jazz, you know. Looking back on this, because this project's a couple months old, I wish I had been a little bit more detailed with the background than I actually was, and maybe a little bit more expressional. Now I know that with Death, like her entire character isn't meant to have like expressions and stuff because she was this one kid who grew up with the mortals and she, just never fit in and she was outcasted and she was, demonized very heavily. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But for right now, like her whole past, I have been reworking it. Like I'm still keeping the idea of she was demonized in a more mortal village and everything. And I also still need to work on other fate concepts because I still have a whole slew of other fates and everything. This one was just my favorite, and the entire story revolves around her specifically. It's just to be very interesting, very intriguing. And I've actually been going through old stories, so I've been looking on literally every single thing I ever have saved as far as writing concepts go, and I have been like putting them all in one giant folder, and I've been going through each and every one of them and going through like different characters I'd like to design or maybe just rewrite the story and everything. But this is kind of where that came from, where I had a story that I wrote up and I was like, oh, I've kind of forgotten about this character, and then I remember that I drew her a long time ago, and I was like, yeah, I don't like that idea anymore, so we're gonna scrap that, call it happy, but oh well. Anyways, I'm running out of time, and you guys, I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Bye.